Yeah. All I need is one mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic.
Hey everybody, welcome back to One Mic, where I watch shit so you don't have to. And today I'm here to talk about episode 4 of the HBO limited series Scenes from a Marriage, entitled The Illiterates. This is the penultimate episode before the season finale next week. And there's a lot covered here that I really kind of want to get into, more so from a perspective of a lot of the, I don't want to say trickery, but there's a lot of deception and a lot of things that are being withheld between the two of them, that were these things to come to light sooner or easier, things might have gone a little bit smoother. But I want to start by talking about the episode title, because I found the episode title to be interesting. It's called The Illiterates, and as I'm sure, as I hope a lot of you know, that's illiterate as somebody who can't read. And I pondered the meaning of this title, given the events of the episode. You know, there's a lot of important things that happen. None of them really revolve around an inability to read, but there is some symbolism here that I think kind of comes into play, right? So, like, there's a very literal sense when we talk about not being able to read. You know, that they don't read over the settlement papers. You know, Jonathan's going constantly, you know, you've already read this. She's like, oh, let me read it again. And you can tell she's trying to put it off, trying to delay having to sign the papers. She's not reading them. He's telling her, you've already read them 100 times, the same shit you've already read, just sign it and be done with it. So in a literal sense, there is an inability to read right there. But in a non-literal sense, these two can't read each other. And when I say read each other, I mean understand what the other person is doing. There's a whole lot of, like I said at the top, trickery here, deception. And it's not, you know, I don't think it's purposeful necessarily, or it's purposeful, but I don't think it has a malicious intent. I just think that they just are not good at communicating. So they don't know how to say, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what's going on, and get past it. They kind of like bullshit each other a little bit until the things that actually need to be said come out, but they come out in such a poisonous kind of way, right? You look at Mira in particular, you know, Jonathan's very clear in his lack of interest in continuing, however you want to look at it, with this marriage. And she's not reading that. And she's not reading that because Mira's not operating from a place of logic and what makes sense. Mira's operating from a place of full-on emotion and knee-jerk emotional reactions as well. You know, we find out that Polly left her 2 weeks ago. And, you know, last week we talked about the idea that Polly dumped her, but it looked like, I guess apparently that didn't actually happen. And time has now passed, but now he has left her for real 2 weeks prior to the events of this episode. And then we also find out that earlier that day, she was fired from her job after she didn't take the London gig where she asked Jonathan if him and Ava would be coming along with her, and you know, what if Polly was in the picture, et cetera, et cetera. Apparently that didn't work out. She didn't take that job, and everything's kind of been downhill since. And I think this is a bad episode for Mira, because Mira looks like someone who made an impulsive decision, who thought that I want to live a passionate, exciting life. She had a passionate and exciting time with Polly, and now she wants to make that her life, this life of spontaneity and passion and excitement, this kind of like grass is greener on the other side kind of perspective. And now that things didn't work out and reality strikes, and you're like, hey, this guy wants to have a kid with her, and she's not interested in all that. She's not interested in starting a new life with this guy. She just wanted to live in the moment and be impulsive. And now that that's over, and it's clear that that's not going to work out, now she wants to come running back. And that's not a good look for her, from the perspective of, like, it just makes you look like a really shitty person who, you know, took advantage of the fact that she felt like Jonathan would always be there. And now that he's not, and things have gone badly for her, now she wants to come back, and Jonathan's not with it. And nor should he be. But Jonathan's doing some shit too that I don't particularly care for. You know, Jonathan verbally is very clear in his intent on not wanting to be with Mira anymore. You know, he says, you know, what did he say? He said, I don't have feelings for you anymore. That's what he said. I don't have feelings for you anymore. And he's very clear about that. But why'd you have sex then? Like, why would you even further complicate things? And they were so casual afterward. Like, I feel like that should have been a moment where they're kind of just like, what did we just do? But they were very casual about it, which made me wonder if this was not the first time that they had sex. Because, they started to do it in the previous episode and Jonathan stopped it. And it made me wonder if in the time since, if they might have had anything. But Jonathan said that he'd gotten past her, so I'm guessing that they probably didn't. But they reacted very casually to this. And Jonathan initiated it. That's not the actions you take if you're trying to make a clean cut. And then at the end of the episode, we see them finally have it out in a physical way. And, this isn't as overt as Jonathan just, saying that he doesn't want to be with her anymore, but then also having sex with her. That's a very clear contradiction from what you're saying versus what you're doing. But we know that there are multiple entrances into this house. There's that door that's in the kitchen that he's always smoking by, that he could have just gone out of that door if he truly, truly wanted to leave in that moment without issue. He could have just said, I'm just going to go. He didn't have to say anything. He just turned around and walked out the other door. But no, he wanted to go through her. He wanted to go out of that front door. He wanted to have it out with her. And that's Jonathan not being true to what he's saying. Both of them say one thing and then do something else. And Mira does it to a much greater degree and to a greater impact. But Jonathan does it as well. And now, if Jonathan had known that Polly had broken up with her and that she had lost her job, would he have initiated the sex? Probably not. But that's just the decision that he made. So let me see. Where do I want to go now? Well, Mira, like I said, was incredibly manipulative this episode. I didn't like the scene where, they talk about the dance lessons. But again, what I do like about this show, and they did it last week and they did it again now, is that they give you information at the end of the episode that makes how you interpret a scene change. So in the moment, we find out, Jonathan says, hey, pay your half of Ava's dance classes bill, whatever. She goes twice a week to these two different forms of dance. And Mira owes $2,500. Why the fuck is that so expensive? Like, there's no way that it should be that expensive. But Mira owes $2,500, and she's like, yeah, that's a little expensive. I don't know if I want to. And I'm sitting here like, you got the motherfucking money. What are you talking about? It's a little expensive. And we need to cut her classes back now. And I'm just like, okay, why are you cutting the classes back when we know you can afford this? And Jonathan even says, like, if I can afford it, you can afford it. And she goes, yeah, can you tell her about it? What? Can he tell her about you wanting to cut back on Ava's classes because you don't want to pay your half? Can he tell her about it? But then we find out she doesn't have her job anymore. We find out too, and I'm assuming this from just how these interactions happen over the phone. I'm assuming that Ava's not really feeling her right now. And she does say that, but like, particularly the second phone call where it sounded to me like Ava was supposed to be spending the day with Mira, but she didn't want to, and she wanted to spend it with Jonathan. That was kind of the vibe that I got from that call. And she hangs up, she immediately starts crying. So now you go back and look at that scene, you're like, okay, she's trying to hide the fact that she doesn't even have a job anymore. And she has to deal with the fact that she's already probably carrying some guilt over, not just from her leaving in the first place, but from the fact that currently, present day, Ava probably isn't really that into her. And now because she's lost the job, they need to cut back on the dance classes. And it's Mira's fault, per se, that they would have to cut back on the dance classes. And then Mira would have to tell her, we can't afford the dance classes anymore. And that would only make things worse for their relationship. So, like, I like the fact that in that moment, I'm like, wow, Mira, you're a real fucking asshole. And then you find out the information later and you look back at that and you're like, okay, well, I can kind of understand. I can kind of see where she's coming from. And you feel bad for her, because I did not feel bad for her for the majority of this episode. For the majority of this episode, I was furious with her, because I'm like, this is so manipulative, and this is so, I thought the grass was greener on the other side while I go have this little tryst, and I'm going to leave my husband, I'm going to leave my daughter so I can have this life of passion with this younger, more successful guy. and then shit doesn't work out. Now she wants to come back and ruin everybody else's life because she decided to make that shitty decision. So, I'm sitting here the whole time. Every time Mira talks, it sounds like some manipulative bullshit, and how she flies off the handle anytime he says anything. But then when you see her crying after the call with Ava, it's almost like, okay, she did lose her job. You want to feel bad about that, to a degree anyway. It seems like Ava's not really a big fan of hers. That's got to be tough to have to actually live with the consequences of your shitty fucking behavior. But that's what happened. And at the end of the day, I don't want to see anyone. I have 3 kids. I don't know what the fuck I would do without my like if my kids didn't like me, or if they didn't want to be around me, or anything like that. Like I wouldn't want to have to deal with that. So it does trigger a little bit of sympathy in me to see her broken up over about what's happening with Ava. But this was a bad episode for Mira. Like I said, really, I'm not somebody who's gonna feel sympathy for you when you have to face the consequences of your actions, when your actions are outwardly and indisputably real fucking shitty. So sucks to be you, Mira. I wouldn't have been very receptive. But then we find out that Jonathan's struggling with this. He, after the events of the last episode, that episode ends with, he starts to play the voicemail from Polly for Mira. Ava wakes up. He goes to take Ava to bed, and he's laying in the bed with her, and that's how the episode ends. We find out at that point, he started praying for her to come back, for Mira to come back, as in come back into his life. And then he hears the door close and hears her leave. And what did we learn last week? We learned that he went to some very, very dark places that he had to recover from. And he stopped them from having sex because he didn't want to go back to square one, and he made so much progress. And then after that moment, he found himself praying for her to come back. So he had gone back to square one, had to fight through that again just to have her come in, and at the moment everything's supposed to be finalized, lay all of this incredibly heavy shit at his feet. It's a very unenviable position for him to be in. But let's talk about this fight scene, right? The fight scene, again, tough to watch. You don't want to see anything like that. But I found it interesting that after the fight scene was over, I like the fact that Mira immediately signed the papers, because, you got to realize that in the moment where he's bust his head over this little bench that's in your foyer, and you've been throwing books and staplers and shit at him, and it's probably time, when you two are physically hitting each other, it's probably time to sign the fucking divorce papers. But interesting to me, he after he gets up, he gathers up the papers, he signs them himself. He gets his coat on, gets ready to leave, and before he leaves, he goes, we should have did this a long time ago, something to that effect. And I do not take that as we should have signed these papers a long time ago, or we should have gotten divorced a long time ago. I interpreted that as him saying they should have fucking fought a long time ago and actually just had it out and let all those emotions out. I don't know if necessarily he meant it in a physical way, like we should have been hitting each other a long time ago. But I think that outpouring of that level of anger and emotion, whether it results in a punch to the face, or a thrown book, or a push, or just saying terrible things, screaming at each other, whatever. But that level of release, I feel like he's saying that they should have had a long time ago. And I wonder, I don't know if any symbolism was meant by this, but I don't feel like this could be unintentional. But Jonathan goes to leave. He's sitting in his car. The moving truck pulls up, and he starts the car, and you can hear the ding, ding, ding of his seatbelt not being fastened. And he sits there. He looks. He observes the movers for a hot second. Then he drives off. He starts driving. He looks in his side mirror at the movers starting to get ready to go in and move all the shit out. And then he fastens his seatbelt, and the dinging stops. And I looked at that seatbelt fastening as, prior to that point, when the seatbelt's not fastened and he's not securely in his vehicle leaving, I feel like the absence of the seatbelt was an opening for him to get out of the car. While the seatbelt's off, He's sitting in there. He's looking. Is he going to go back inside? Is he going to talk to the movers? Is he going to go in there and apologize? Are they going to talk? Is he going to, is he going to succumb to this heavy amount of pressure and shitty information that Mira has laid at his feet? Is he going to go back? He starts driving off. Seatbelt still not fastened. And I feel like the unfastened seatbelt, again, is him like not necessarily being willing to close off the idea of getting out of the car. He's looking in the mirror, and I'm thinking the whole time, is he gonna turn around? Is he gonna stop? And then he makes the move to fasten his seatbelt. And there was something about the way he moved that made me think, like, for a split second, I couldn't tell if he was reaching to grab his seatbelt or if he was reaching to turn the steering wheel to turn the car around. So I feel like that was like a purposeful moment, and that the fastening of the seatbelt was him saying, I'm not going back. I'm not revisiting this. I'm done. I'm leaving, and that's it. And I thought that was a very poignant way to end the episode. I feel like the title could have been more tied to something having to do with that, or that finalization of things, the realization of everything's been put out on the table. I know where she's coming from. She knows where I'm coming from. We know about his elective co-parenting thing with this coworker. We know about her leaving, Polly leaving her and getting fired. Everything's out there, and that should be, that finalization of the seatbelt probably would have been. I would have thought the title of the episode would be a little bit more closely tied to that. But at the end of the day, this was another great episode. This show remains incredibly difficult to watch. As a married man, a lot of this shit is very relatable to me. I can understand this kind of stuff. And then the worst part is putting yourself in this position and trying to understand what this might feel like. And that's really tough to do. So really great episode. I'm really looking forward to the finale. I like talking about these things from a relationship perspective and thematically, rather than going through and like, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. I like talking about it in this manner. So I will see you guys next week for the finale, episode 5. Until then, check out some of the other videos I'm doing on this channel if you're interested. I'm currently covering Ted Lasso on Apple TV, Foundation on Apple TV. Nine Perfect Strangers just wrapped up, but I'm going to be starting coverage of Succession season 3 starting on the 17th. I'll be covering that. I'll probably be covering Insecure as well. That starts on October 24th. I don't know if I'm going to do episode by episode coverage of You season 3. I'm probably going to watch it, but I don't know if I'm going to do a video for it or anything like that. Maybe I'll do one video talking about the whole season. I don't know. I'm watching Squid Games right now. I'll probably end up doing a video on that once I'm done. But, there's so much stuff coming along. So if you like the level of analysis that I put on these videos, hang around, subscribe, tell your friends. I treat all the shows, everything that I cover, with this level of attention to detail and insight. So if you like these videos, please subscribe, tell everybody, watch all my other shit. There's a lot of great stuff out there. I have a playlist there right now that is comprised of the videos for the things that I have the highest recommendations for. So check that out if you're looking for something to watch, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.